Three, two, one. Hey, it's Wildjosh, and I'm joined by Chase and Kyle, and Ezra's on assignment. So today we figured, in Star Wars fandom, we're all patiently waiting for the Mandalorian season 2 trailer to finally come out. We thought it was going to come out a couple weeks ago. It didn't end up happening, but I wanted to talk about a theory that I recently learned of about Moff Gideon. So, um, the theory goes, why does Moff Gideon want the child? Now, let's get geeky. So I got this theory from a Reddit subreddit called Star Wars Speculation. The Redditor that put this theory up, his name was TheOrdinaryCritic. I want to make sure I give him props. I thought it was a good theory. His title goes, Moff Gideon wants the child not because of its strength in the Force, but because of its child's blood may reveal the secret to unnaturally long life. That's the title of his theory. I should tell you guys that the title is different than the one I put in the show notes because he revamped his theory
Okay.
and updated it, and I'm reading the updated one. So that's why it might be a little different from what you're seeing. So it says throughout the Star Wars films and TV series, we've only been introduced to 3 Yoda species: Yoda, Yaddle, and the child. All of them are naturally gifted in the Force. But so what? Lots of people during this time period have incredible Force potential. Leia, Luke, Ahsoka, Ben. What else makes this species so special? Why is the client and Moff Gideon so desperate to retrieve the child? I think I know why. It's their incredibly long lifespan. He actually says life space, but I don't know what that means. I think he means lifespan. This is what makes the species special and potentially dangerous. The client needs the child's DNA so they can learn how the species lives so long and copy its genetics. He could be under direct orders from Gideon to capture. He could be under direct orders from Gideon to capture the child for the express purpose of reviving Sidious. Though I suspect Gideon will have a different plan in the end. Due to his reckless attack on the fellow Imperials, his goal could be to destroy the child to prevent Sidious from returning, or to use the genetic material for himself. I believe this overarching plan is to lead a group of Imperial remnants and create his own galactic empire. I doubt we'll see Sidious and Snoke or the Sith Eternal in the series, just a reference to them to set the context of a power struggle between the remaining vestiges of the Empire. The Mandalorian series is doing great on its own, so it doesn't need to fully tie into the Skywalker saga. Just a few brief references here and there could there to set the context within the galaxy. What do you think? I know the evidence is thin, but I really think a plot like this could work. So I really thought about this, and I have thought about in the past, why is it that um, Moff Gideon or the client wanted this child so bad? We do see the child once he's given back to the client, and then Din Djarin decides that he wants to go and take the child back. He's in like a operating room, right? Kind of like on a table. So they're going to do something to the child. And another reason why I think this theory works is because they could have done it dead or alive, because we know IG-11 was told dead or alive didn't matter. That the fact that they didn't matter, they could have still done taken DNA from a corpse, just as easily as they could from a living, breathing thing. So if they wanted it specifically to train to become some kind of Sith or something like that, well, then dead wouldn't make any sense at that point. So, what do you guys think about this theory?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I think I know that you personally thought it had a lot of validity. I mean, I don't think it's a Kyle theory.
I don't know what that
So-
means. Not crazy?
It's not crazy. It's moderate.
when I first read this, and I'm going to give a ton more credit to Favreau and Filoni um, than to J.J. Abrams, but with the fact that Rey didn't know her own lineage and they didn't really have plans to bring back Sidious when they made the Mando, like the Mando was filmed before they had really even done much with Episode 9 yet. That I don't think that that would be their plans when they're talking about it. It could entirely be, and the way that Favreau and Filoni have written stories for Star Wars in the past, they put a lot of thought into it, and they make it a really good story, and they make everything connect in such a smooth way. But this to me just didn't feel like something that they would have come up with.
I could see.
Except, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know that I see the whole tie to Sidious. I think that Moff Gideon could want it to try to extend his own life,
That I could see more.
or do something with the genetics to make like a super soldier, more like that, more than to do something with the Sith Eternal or Sidious.
The only thing I would say to that, Chase, is just there has been this overarching theme of Sidious was the one who went to the unknown regions, and they have been building up at least what was Sidious's ideas and plans post post Return of the Jedi. So it very well could have still been originated from a Sidious plan, even if they didn't initially, they weren't planning on Sidious returning at the end of the Skywalker saga. So I could still, I don't think that would have an impact on the validity of this theory, at least.
Okay. I don't know. It still just didn't feel to me like something that Favreau and Filioni would have put onto the table. I don't know. That's just my opinion from seeing what they've done with Star Wars before. But
Yeah. There's a lot of intriguing aspects to this because you got the client who has a doctor working for him who's got ties to the clones, right? So you get that idea, like, are they trying to clone him? Are they trying to do something? But then you have this idea, which I didn't really think of. I continually was fixated on the fact that it was a Jedi and had the Force and was powerful and all that stuff, instead of the fact that I didn't even think about the fact that these creatures live, this species, I should say, it's not a creature, lives hundreds and hundreds of years old, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we think of what Yoda said, he says to Luke on Dagobah, 800 years I've been training Jedi. So what's the lifespan? He probably wasn't training Jedi when he was like the child's age.
Yep.
So which is 50. So
but when he did say in episode 6, when 900 years old look as good, you will not. So we know that he's around 900. So even say he was 999 means that he was probably, 2 times the child's age, at least when he started training. So how quickly does the species start aging? Because, like, if he's 50 now, but Yoda lived to 900 and trained Jedis for 800 years, like, is he going to grow up and become a teenager equivalent in season 2, just like that? And then
there have been
age
people,
slower
Baby
after
Groot?
that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. Although there have been people that have pointed out that the child does look slightly bigger in the image that we got of him from season 2. Which you're right. Like, how if it's taken him 50 years to get to the size he is now, like, you wouldn't think it would be
You
in a
would think
year.
that, Yoda would have had to be at least like 300 before he was training Jedi.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But we really, I mean, the whole reason that the child is an intriguing storyline in The Mandalorian is we don't know anything about the Osnian species. So really, it's kind of their story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Any interpretation that they tell will be canon.
Yeah.
It's true.
So it's kind of all out there. So,
I mean, I think there could be more than one reason too that they want the child, right? It could be that they want it because of they know it's powerful. Maybe like initially I was kind of thinking it was like we want it to convert it to being a Sith, or we want it dead. Like we don't care. It's either going to be for us, but it's not going to be against us. Like that's why they said, bring it to us or dead, whatever. But then maybe it's like, well, also we can use its the genetic DNA makeup to do something, with a clone kind of.
Yep.
I don't know.
So I mean, just on its face value of the theory, it's good. It doesn't have the appeal for me, because if it's just another story about longevity, like Fountain of Youth type,
Immortality type stuff, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be as excited about it, but I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibilities.
I'd be down if maybe this was Moff Gideon's way of trying to accrue force powers for himself. Maybe he's trying to find a way to make it so that his body can grow. I don't know if it's grow or whatever. But produce midichlorians by splicing that into himself, because we know he has the dark saber. So maybe he wants to try and take over for the Emperor and become a Dark Lord of the Sith by accruing force powers, since he has the dark saber.
So what you just said, Chase, made me think. I was telling my wife this theory, and she asked the question, is it possible to remove midichlorians and then put them in someone else?
So I'm thinking that it's kind of like what would be a bone marrow transplant, right? So when somebody goes through cancer treatment, then they'll get a bone marrow transplant, so that way their body can start producing white blood cells.
Right.
So,
sorry.
If the midichlorians are found in the blood, it could be something like that, where they're produced by the body, and so it's caused by this genetic mutation that produces the midichlorians. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's putting way too much science behind the Force.
Well, isn't that essentially? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm now thinking more. The actor Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Moff Gideon, has said in interviews, or hinted and alluded to the fact that Moff Gideon has a connection to the Force, has Force powers.
Oh.
So could it be like, let's say I'm a person that has no connection to the Force whatsoever. If you give me a midichlorian blood transfusion, maybe it does nothing for me. But someone who already has a connection to the Force, maybe it would enhance their connection.
But is that Filoni and Favreau saying that, or is that just the actor?
It was him.
Because
it was the actor.
Brie Larson also said that Captain Marvel can lift Thor's hammer.
Well, we haven't seen that yet.
Exactly. She is saying it, but nobody wants to believe her.
So, I mean, guys, I think you're forgetting something. Isn't that essentially, you don't even have to do a blood transfusion. Isn't that essentially what Palpatine did at the end of Episode 9? He took the Force from the dyad of Rey and Kylo, and added that power to his own.
He did, but I would say the difference between like a Moff Gideon and him is that he spent years and years and I mean, we don't even know how long Sidious has been in existence, but he scoured Sith relics and artifacts, holocrons, to come up with all these ways that he could do these things. Whereas I don't get the feeling from Moff Gideon that he's been putting the time in to be able to figure out how to do something like that.
Well, you probably just unraveled the whole thing, Josh. At the end of the series, Gideon is going to attempt to do this. He's going to attempt to do the Sidious, and he can't because he didn't think it through.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that Moff Gideon's an interesting character. I wonder now, Chase, that you said like how connected these are, right? Because J.J. Abrams was doing Episode 9, and Filoni and Favreau have been working on The Mandalorian. And hopefully they're not completely separate things, but there had been some communication, because it'd be interesting to be like, what if Moff Gideon was being trained to be what do they call them? The
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor.
Oh, an Inquisitor. Yeah.
an Inquisitor, and then Vader gets killed in Return of the Jedi, and now he's just. But then I think, well, if they knew all along that Sidious was somewhere working, he probably would have just taken him under his belt, and so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some communication because we saw Force healing in The Mandalorian before we saw it in Rise of Skywalker.
Sure did.
So there's some communication going on there. How much communication is something else. But as soon as you said Inquisitor,
I would like to say a lot, but until just hearing that they had no plan for Rey's parentage until that really like makes me think there's none.
You
and they're just like
just sold me on that, Josh, because as soon as you said Inquisitor, I started thinking back to Moff Gideon's armor versus the armor that Trilla, the second sister, and the seventh sister wear in Jedi Fallen Order. And that's definitely, it has that same vibe of, whereas you see all the other Imperial officers are just wearing like plain clothes, he's wearing the black plated armor that the Inquisitors would wear.
And he's got the dark saber.
And he has a dark saber on him.
So Josh, I know
I like that.
I am a firm believer that obviously they don't always have a plan. However, I'm sure they talk because it's not a coincidence that the episode immediately prior to the release of episode 9, they demonstrate Force healing and then
you're right.
come out and have it in the movie.
Yeah. I think I just got thrown for a loop there with that Daisy Ridley interview. It made me very upset.
Yes. Understandably so.
But, so can I kind of throw out my own here? I've gone back to. Nope, she's gonna stay up. Okay, she did that thing where she kicks out her legs and is not. Put your
the ground is poison. Yeah, or lava or whatever.
The ground is not poison anymore. See you, kid. All right, so. Nope, she didn't fall. Okay, so I kind of think, and I know I've said this before, but I think it makes even more sense now to say that the yodeling is a Yoda clone. And here's why. Yoda in Sidious, was he Palpatine? No, he was still Sidious in episode 3, right? They have that
old man skin cells.
No. So the only person that really had a chance.
Right now, I'm just having flashbacks to when I was editing the Kyle Theories video, and all of the sayings of Luke when he was trying to bash Kyle on the Rey clone theory.
Well, it turns out you actually had a valid point that I had never thought about, which is rare for you.
So the real equal to Palpatine at the time of the, what are we calling this? Not the Old Republic, just the Galactic Republic, was Yoda. Right? So this could the yodeling could be just one of Palpatine's many schemes. So Anakin was a scheme. If that didn't work out, he just had tons of backup. So what if this was a Yoda clone? Because that's just a lot of power to be able to bring to the dark side and kind of turn. So if you clone that baby using the Camino cloners and don't do the accelerated aging, so by the time Yoda is ready to pass on, you're bringing this other Yoda on.
My issue with that is Palpatine would have been playing that before the Separatists even at that point, because if the child is 50, 60 years, you have to think the rebellion was 20-something years because of however old Luke was. The Clone Wars was not that long because Anakin didn't grow up hardly at all. So say that's another 10 maybe at the max. You're going back 30 years. So you're saying that the child predates the Clone Wars by 20, 30 years.
Well, wasn't that much?
The thing? Didn't they say that Anakin and the yodeling are about the same age? Wasn't that the whole thing?
Yep,
they're about the same age.
Right, they are.
Is it? Okay, so it doesn't long predate the Separatists, but
it doesn't, and it's right around the same time that they would have gone to Camino to start cloning of
when Cypher DS would have gone and Let the clone army get started.
It could have been Sifo-Dyas. It's just I'm just thinking he had backup after backup. So this could just be a loose end. And so the reason I'm saying he is a clone is this cloner wants Baby Yoda alive because he had previously worked with him. What if this was his special project? The Empire doesn't care if the Yodeling is dead or alive, because it's a failed experiment. Sidious is gone in their minds. They don't know he's there. But this cloner has been working with this little Yoda project for the past 50 years. So he wants him alive because he still thinks this plan could work out. That's all.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for season 2.
Yep.
And I watched that trailer, man. What are they waiting for? All right.
They're waiting for you not to expect it.
They're waiting for me not to want it anymore. Okay, Disney, I don't want it. You don't have to give it to us. We don't need a trailer. Does that help? I don't know.
Disney knows you.
They watch our videos. We know that, right? All right. Well, what did you think? Do you have a theory on why Moff Gideon wants the child? Is it something completely different from what we said? Whatever the case is, let us know in the comments below, and just say anything in the comments. It helps the YouTube algorithm if you leave a comment. So just leave a comment. And yeah, thanks for watching. And this is the way.
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.